Hello and welcome to Smitty's. I am a wood cutting fanatic who loves to run a chainsaw. I run alcohol chainsaws, ported chainsaws, I race chainsaws, and I even run the occasional vintage. Now remember, I cannot do this without you. You're everything to the channel, so please remember, subscribe, give that thumbs up, leave that comment. Today, we are going to have a lot of fun. Oh, how you doing? I'm down here. Covered in sawdust. Put them down here at the wood pile. I've been actually milling some lumber. See it back there? Milling up some lumber. Everything you see there is maple. There's some poplar underneath it. And you can kind of see Cody back here waving. I think he's going to come say hi. You going to say hi? No?
Hi.
But anyway.
Catch bees with sawdust.
Catching bees. That's smart. That's smart. You know they sting, right? But anyway, we're going to run to 385 again. But there's been some changes since the last time you saw it. So, let me take you over here, show you the saw. There's been some changes done to it. And I'm going to kind of give you the rundown, and then we're going to give it some test cuts. Alrighty? I've not run it in this configuration, so we're going to see what it does. Alrighty? So there it is. I made some repairs. Got the top cover bolted down finally. But I made a couple of changes here. Let me get you. Alrighty, so as you see, we got some felling spikes on there now. So I was going to go with a smaller set of these felling spikes, or felling dogs or whatever. But I noticed the last time I ran it that the handlebar gets really close to the wood. And that's why I decided to go ahead with the bigger ones. But whenever I get the final configuration for this to go race, I'll actually cut these guys off. And it'll be like a smooth the whole way down around. So that's one of the reasons I decided to just go with the big ones. I'll just take and whack all the spikes off and make it kind of a little bit of a moon shape there. And yeah, that'll be it for racing. Now I've also did a new muffler mod. So this is a different muffler, and this is kind of going to be the debut of this muffler. I've decided that I'm going to kind of create my own little signature muffler mod for all my race type builds, and this is it. Check it out. My own signature little muffler mod, I guess you can call it. See that there? What do you think? Give him some eyes, a mouth. Kind of cut the bottom thing into like a little beard. Yeah, I'll tweak it every time and get better with it. I didn't think to measure the mouth part to get them good and centered, but it'll work. This actually is a larger opening than my old muffler mod, so should be interesting to see how that does. Definitely looks mean and angry, and that was kind of the point, you know what I mean? But you're going to start seeing this pop up a lot. I'm going to turn this kind of into my own little signature muffler mod on anything I do for like a race type build. Another thing to mention is the chain. This is a different chain. This is a Sqare hand-filed chain. You see it there? Can we get her to focus? Can't really. There we go. As you can kind of tell, it is a Sqare hand-filed chain. We're going to try this chain out today. A gentleman out there sent me this a while back. I made a couple of test cuts with it, but I never felt like I gave it a good, proper test run. Look at Cody there pointing at it. And there's been one other change. I took it up to an 8-pin sprocket. So we had a 7-pin on it before. I knocked it up to an 8. So we're going to see if the 8-pin and the Sqare and the muffler mod and all this stuff, we're going to see how this performs. Sometimes you lose performance when you go to an 8-pin. Sometimes you gain. And today, we're going to see how this setup runs. Alrighty, so let's make a bunch of noise because this thing is very loud. And we're going to have some fun here. Alrighty. Alrighty, so there she is. The chain is the biggest thing I noticed, but as far as the 8-pin goes, I'm leaving it on the 8-pin. It will dog down easier with the 8-pin, of course, but it's able to hold the RPM. Boy, I'm actually quite impressed right now. It only really starts dogging down on the 8-pin whenever I really start pushing on it. And this chain, man, this chain is it's definitely one that makes you reconsider your conditions of, or your decision to run round chain, if you know what I mean. This thing, it turns oak into butter, is basically what it does. It's not an aggressive grind. He's definitely, so I should explain this. The gentleman who sent me this falls trees. He has a lot of experience here, and he sent me this hand filed chain a while back so I could give it a try. And I'm going to tell you, it does. It just turns these hardwoods into butter. I'm curious to know how long or what kind of durability it would get. His angles aren't super aggressive, so I bet you it'll last. I bet you it will. You can tell the difference between a round and a square. So, for instance, so for me to get a round chain to cut like this, I have to get a little more aggressive with it, and you can tell that it's a little more aggressive. You know what I mean? You can feel it in the cut. It is more aggressive. But even the Sqare at a not so aggressive setting, it feels, it's much smoother in the cut. The question here is the durability of it. You know what I mean? For me, myself, you know, this is making me rethink my decision here on running around chain. I might end up switching to Sqare here in the future. Actually, I probably will, at least for some stuff. It's how aggressive you can get it, like how much wood you can get the chain to eat to and still have it cut smoothly. I guess that's the best way to explain it. So this chain, like, it eats a lot more wood a lot faster, and it still cuts smooth. Whereas if I was doing this with round, to have it eat this much wood this fast, it wouldn't be as smooth. You would feel it. It would have some chatter or vibration or something. You know what I mean? It's $25 for the file. You know, it's only $25 to buy the file to do Sqare chain like this. And they make a jig. There's a gentleman who makes a jig for my grinder to be able to do Sqare grind on my grinder. It's a little pricey, but I think I'm gonna end up getting one. Yeah, you see, all the Sqare testing I've done so far was just cutting some cookies. This is the first time I've actually put it in like oak and like really, you know, gave it a run, and I like it. Boy, there's some decisions to make here, isn't there? The actual Symington grinder, it's a lot more money. And, you know, you can buy the jig for like $300 to go on the Oregon grinder to do a Sqare. I don't know. There's some decisions to make there. And I'm going on and on about the chain. The freaking thing pulled an 8-pin with authority. I mean, she did it. And I'm impressed. This thing is just turning this oak into butter right now. She did not tune fat on me from that last time to this time. So I'd say we're good with the rings. Usually you'll notice it getting fatter and fatter as you run it from time to time when you're seating the rings. And there's no change between last time and this time. So I'd say we're golden with the break-in. I'm just going to run it from now on, just like that. I think I'm going to leave that Sqare hand file chain on there and just pick up a file. And you know what I mean? Go that route until I get the jig, you know? So, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. There's nothing left to do to the saw. Nothing left. It's done. Everything's buttoned down, bolted up and stuff. There's nothing left to do to the saw. It's done. The only change I'm going to make is the felling dogs. Whenever, you know, come closer to race time, which ain't until October, I'm going to cut them spikes off and smooth it out. And then I'll end up ordering another set, but all I got to do is switch them out, and I'm golden. You know what I mean? Now, as far as my chain goes, for racing, you have to run round. So they do allow C83. So I think what I'm going to do is get a C83 and work at getting it set up to be the fastest it can be. And then I'll probably just end up running C83, just because once I know how deep to go into rakers and stuff on an out-of-the-box C83, if I need to replace the chain, it's literally just replace it. You know what I mean? It'll be easy. I won't be so worried about finding the sweet spot of the chain. You know what I mean? All I gotta do is find it one time, and then I'll just take that chain after each race, because you only make 3 cuts, you know? It's not like you're gonna dull that chain a lot. You know, you make your 3 cuts, you take the chain off, you put it in a bag, like a Ziploc bag with a little bit of bar oil, throw it on the shelf, and you're good until next season. And a chain will last you years like that. If you happen to do something stupid and hit a nail or a rock or something, then you know your settings. You just take a little notebook and write down the settings for your C83 for each saw, and you know, out of the box, and then you're good to go. And I think that's the way I'm going to go. Instead of working at fine-tuning the chains for each saw and everything, I think I'm just going to go the route with C83. And then as I retire chains, they just go into my regular rotation, and I'll probably just turn them into Sqare hand files or Sqare grind or whatever, and whenever I get to that point. But I do think I'm going to work it getting switched over to Sqare. It's just so smooth. It's like butter, you know? And to get a chain to perform like this on round, it's not as smooth. And I really, really, really like smooth. So yeah, you're gonna see me make the conversion. Alrighty, so hey, I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll catch you in the next one. Later.